So royal responders or the so-called royal experts, I think at this time it's safe to say, or actually it's factual to say, they just speak any narrative for content purposes. Because when you listen to this clip that I'm about to insert in this video, you'd be like, there's no way they're actually saying this. Like, to see Chris even say something like that, it's like, are you serious? I thought, like, no, there's no way. Because for me, after listening to this clip, I was like, it's solely for content creation purposes. There's no way they're talking about Meghan coming back. Have a look.
Well, what's going to happen in Birmingham? Will
she come
here? Because obviously
yes.
Harry said he doesn't feel that his wife is safe in the UK. So he said that with his own words. But also, will his dad and brother come if it's in Birmingham? You'll remember in London,
yes.
of course.
Well, they were all there supporting
Prince Charles,
him.
as he was then,
yes.
and Prince William were there supporting
yes.
him. And obviously when he came over for the 10th anniversary in London last year, Dad was in town, didn't see Harry. William was around, didn't see Harry. So I think Birmingham is going to be much more tricky than holding the one they're doing.
Which I think will make it all the more important, Chris, that she is there, because of course she wasn't there for the 10th anniversary, and as you say, he felt those absences were very notable, and to not have the support of his father or his brother, I think must be really hard for him. So I hope, if they're not going to be there, and by all accounts the relationship is not good, the chances are they won't be, then Meghan will be there to support him.
You say that, when is Birmingham?
2027.
A lot can happen in
a lot,
that time.
yes, exactly.
Yes, so they've got 2 years, but look at the last 2 years and things haven't got any better at all, have they? And I also think there is this issue with security. I mean, Harry said, referring back to some of the tabloid coverage, the reason why he doesn't feel like his wife is safe in the UK is because of that sort of negative publicity that has been generated through a lot of the tabloid coverage. Then there's this ongoing court case with the Home Office about whether or not he gets a certain level of protection when he's here. So a lot of questions for Birmingham. This one is much, much easier compared to the one that's coming.
Like I mentioned, I think at this point, this is just for content. They don't have anything to talk about. So it's like, this is for content. Like, because that's Chris Ship, the Chris Ship, who literally vowed to never speak about Meghan Markle and Harry, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, after they stepped down as senior, royal members. But here he is again speaking about Meghan Markle and Harry. They cannot be seriously talking about the possibility of wanting Meghan Markle back in the UK for the 2027 Invictus Games. I mean, they're joking. They're now really talking about having Meghan Markle at the 2027 Invictus Games in Birmingham. Yes, the 2027 Invictus Games that are going to be taking place in the UK. One thing that's still, like, I've not put my mind is not settled on is how they even got that bid. Personally, I think it's just an attempt to have Harry back in the UK. This is just the attempt. I don't know how they won the bid. The bid to have the Invictus Games in UK. These people have put Meghan through so much. They've clearly stated that she is not welcomed there. You see the likes of Hugo Vikers, so many people, Eamon Holmes, talk about, she's always a show. And here's the thing. A few weeks ago, during the Invictus Games in Canada, they were making a fuss how Meghan should not have been there. Meghan is making it, all about her. It's a show. They criticized her speech. They criticized the manner to which, she's interacting with participants and their families. They criticized how, she is behaving around her husband. They even had a problem with Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, calling Harry my husband. They have a problem with them calling each other my husband, my wife. You wonder, what do they want them to call each other? What do married people call each other? Because I know they call each other my husband, my wife. That is how married people call each other. But they also had a problem with that. They had a problem with Meghan flying private when he flew back to California from Canada. They even actually got the records, her plane records, to know where she stopped. They Daily Mail even, paid people to take a picture of her getting off the plane. They put figures of how much that plane, could have costed her to fly back to Vancouver. They had exact figures. They took time to calculate those figures. And they actually started even bashing her for being a climate criminal. And I don't recall Meghan saying anything about climate change, but they were saying nasty things. And we know, regardless of what she does, they will always bash us. She sighs. She sighs. People are like, oh, Meghan dared to steal oxygen from white people. She volunteers in an animal relief center. Oh, they call or they find her disgusting for volunteering her time, her energy. And these are the same people, right, who are literally sitting down saying, oh, she should come to, she should come to UK. She should come to UK to support her. Here's the thing. When she's there, it's a problem. When she's not there, it's also a problem. These people, at this point, they're clowns in their own circles because they don't even know what they're saying. That's why I'm telling you, this is just content. It's just to piss and to rat people off. They know if we just talk about Meghan and Harry, they know they hate that they don't have access to Meghan in the US. They hate to see her happy and thriving and just in a happy era. So they're trying to find loopholes, to find ways where she can go back to the UK. So that they have access to her, so they can harass her, stalk her, say horrible things about her. It's just about them having access to her. That's why they are insisting they want her back in the UK. It's not just that you can't just tell me that these clowns really want Meghan Markle there to only support, Harry during the Invictus Games, because these same people had a problem. They even blamed Meghan Markle as the reason why there's no media focus on the Invictus Games, the sports, the participants. They said she made it her show, while they themselves made it the Meghan Markle show. It's funny and it's infuriating why they always blame Meghan for them being obsessed with her. They were the ones talking about what she's wearing, how she's acting, how she's touching, what she's putting on a show. It's an Oscar, whatever. And it's funny that now they want her back in the UK to support Harry for the Invictus Games. Listen, one thing we can establish, we can agree, 1,000% Meghan Markle will support her husband. She's shown that time after time, regardless of what the media puts her through. She's been, such a strong person, and she's always been front and center back when it comes to supporting Harry. But the question is, tell me guys, do you really think it's safe for her to be back in the UK come 2027? And I know, hey, 2 years, we have 2 years. A lot can happen, a lot can change in 2 years. But we've seen it's been a long time, and there's still a rift between the royal family with Harry. There's so much that has happened, and they want Meghan there. Why? The same person who people like these clowns, right? They claim they want Harry back, or they want Harry, please come with Archie, please come with Lilibet, but do not bring Meghan. They're the same people who actually have the audacity to sit down, have a discussion of the possibility of Meghan coming back to the UK. They want her there to support her. Isn't that hypocritical? And listen, Meghan is a strong, independent woman, and she's allowed to do whatever she wants. But personally, if I were in Meghan Markle's shoes, and I think one thing I like about her, she goes where she's welcomed. And UK has stated time and time again, she's not welcome there. So imagine her being there before she left, what they put her through. And she's not been there in quite a while. So to go back, you can imagine what they are going to put her through. It's going to be really, I can't even imagine of the worst case scenario that might happen to her when she's back in the UK for the Invictus Games. And like I said, it's 2 years, so a lot can happen, a lot can change. They want, and this is why I'm telling you, this is just for content purposes. These clowns know what they're doing. They want Meghan Markle to support Harry for the Invictus Games. Yet they are not bashing William, Kate, Camilla, and King Charles. They've not supported the Invictus Games. They just finished. They wrapped up like 2 days ago. What have they said? Nothing. And they had that was the last time these two were actually the King Charles and William were actively or pretended to participate or to show support for the Invictus Games was 11 years ago. They could care less about their veterans, and like I've mentioned in my previous videos, you can just see they could care less about them. And it's frustrating that they, instead of talking about their king and why he's not shown any support to the veterans or how he's being booed out and all those things, they still choose to have Meghan, or Meghan should come back. Meghan should come back for the 2027 Invictus Games so they can have access to her. Mind you, the king took Harry's security, which that case is still in court. And honestly, it's going to be hard for Harry to win, because this is something the king just has to make a call, like, oh, give him security. But we know this is just the mind games of putting Harry through so much. I'm telling you, these guys are clowns, because they cannot seriously be talking about the Duchess of Sussex, wanting her there. It's going to be, and one thing I think they've never accepted is the fact that Harry chose Meghan Markle, the mother of, his 2 kids, his wife. And they've never accepted that. They thought, let's just do whatever we can to separate them too. So, that way Harry can come back to the UK. They say, oh, Harry, come back. We love you. We leave Meghan. But we just know you. And have you guys noticed they attack Meghan a lot? Harry, when it comes to press, it's not as bad. When Meghan, they attack her like left, right, and center. And these clowns have the audacity to sit down and discuss of her going to support Harry in UK, the country where she's not welcomed, she's not wanted. They've said horrible things about her. They've done horrible things. The media just wants an opportunity to tear down over and over and over, and it's exhausting at this point. So guys, stay tuned for part 2 of this video, because there's so much I want to say and I feel like I don't want to make it long. So stay tuned for part 2 of this video.